And for my first run, my radio wasn't working, and I actually had the engine mode in the wrong engine, in the wrong setting, sorry. And the engine was extremely slow. And I was not that impressed, really. I was like, what's all the fuss about? And then I went out for the following run.
Now, you may be wondering, why on earth are you having makeup put on, Matt? Well, thanks to Netflix and their new Drive to Survive series, we were given some time to speak with George Russell. If you haven't seen it, where have you been? Anyway, let's go chat with one of F1's newest talents. Hello guys and welcome back to another WTF1 video. We are here with George Russell. Thank you so much for joining us in this very closed environment. We're sat very close to each other, almost knees touching.
Almost.
We're going to get to know each other today, although most of it's going to be about you, fortunately.
Okay, all right.
We're going to start off with a reaction game. I've mentioned this to you before. We've done it with a few drivers, so we're going to give it to you right there. You know how to do lights, right? You know where you kind of...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is not the best preparation. I was at the Autosport Awards last night. And,
right, okay.
That was right.
And the awards was late night. Okay, well, I'm liking your excuses already. Let's press the button. Here we go.
Right. Here we go.
George, no pressure. I think it's 0.
Just press it, right?
You press it as soon as the lights go out. No jump starting. 2-2. Jeez, I genuinely think that's the fastest we've ever had.
No,
on your first attempt. I'm not even joking.
All right,
well, George, thank you so much.
We're not going again.
That's it. That's the end of the interview. All right, thank you so much.
Right.
We're going to do some quick fire stuff first.
Let's do this.
All right, let's do this. Who is your motorsport idol?
I don't actually have a standout motorsport idol, but probably Schumacher.
Nice, I agree.
Yeah.
Fully agree.
Yeah.
Any reason why Schumacher?
Well, he's a guy, when I started watching Formula 1, I think as a child you always favour the winner, let's say, whether it's like football, whatever, you support the winner, and Schumacher was killing it back then, so he was the guy I liked.
Did you get called a glory hunter at all like I did by most of my friends? Or
well, I was a bit too young. I don't think my 6-year-old friends at the time knew what a glory hunter was. But
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
How many pull-ups can you do?
Oh my word!
Yeah, that was random.
20 probably. Because I don't train it.
Me too. Yeah, definitely. Cool. Yeah. What race springs to mind as an absolute F1 classic?
Brazil 2008.
Okay.
Is that
all
clock?
Right. Yeah. What is your favourite karaoke song to go for? If you were to go for one, please tell me you actually do karaoke and have done it before.
Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer, probably.
Wow. Okay. That's a big song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm not going to try it now. So I'm definitely
it's not quite the right environment, although the lights are on you. It's X Factor style. Yeah.
No, done a little bit of karaoke this year. A couple of races where I've not been racing, so enjoy it. Yeah.
What's your least favourite racing track? If you could pick one.
I usually tend to favour tracks I'm quick at, and don't like tracks I'm not quick at. Just a track with runoff. I hate runoff. It's just
okay, so
like
Kota, you won't like Kota?
No, but okay, I did enjoy Kota because that has a lot of character as well. But maybe one like Sochi or where you don't really get punished for mistakes.
What do you make of the sausage curbs, for example, in
I think
Kota?
Well, I
the
think
stopper. I think they call them
the stopper. Yeah, the stopper. I quite like the one in Abu Dhabi, the penultimate corner. Mm-hmm. I think that was quite good. I think at the end of the day, if you get it fully wrong, you can go wide and come back. And if you make it a little bit wrong, you
feels like train tracks, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was maybe a little bit too extreme, but I think they need something along those lines that if you get it really wrong, you can still continue and not put it in the wall, but you can't gain an advantage. So I liked it.
What's your favourite breed of dog?
Chocolate Labrador, I think. I used to have a chocolate Labrador. I like that. We've got a Jack Russell. No, not because of a name or anything. Before people start asking, but we think he's a mix with a sausage dog because he's a bit too long for a Jack Russell. So it's, in theory, he's not. But
I'm trying to picture this.
Just imagine like a medium or a small sausage dog, like in length.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like he's too long to be a Jack Russell, but he's too short to be a sausage dog. So
have you got this confirmed, or is this just kind of theories?
No, it's a theory. It's just a theory. So it's I don't know what's going on, but
the curious case of George Russell's dog. So we've got some fan questions now. F1 Reviews YT says, who do you pick on Mario Kart?
Who do I pick on Mario? Oh,
it's a big question.
My brain's gone blank.
Okay. Toad, Bowser, Luigi, Mario.
Luigi, I'd say.
Luigi.
I mean, I'm just saying this just for the cameras. I don't play Mario Kart, so.
Alex Brasovan says, what's the story behind number 63?
So, you may be aware or may not be, I have an older brother who used to race go-karting. So he started when he was 10 years old, and I was just a child, so I kind of followed him around the tracks. And he started off in like an indoor rental kart place just for like birthday party, and he started enjoying it. and he continued going to this place. And for whatever reason, I don't actually know the whole story behind it, but the quickest guy got the number 63 kart, which I don't really know why that was. So he was the quickest at this like indoor karting place, and he just took that number into his karting career, and I took over.
Oh, Jolly says, does pineapple belong on pizza?
I can't comment because I've not actually tried it, but I was very surprised. I had a curry recently with some pineapple inside, and that was surprisingly extremely nice.
That's like chicken malaya, I think, or something.
Yeah, something like that. So
I'm a big fan.
Potentially.
Did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So I haven't actually tried pineapple on pizza. So I'll give it a go.
Now we're going to get like into your feelings and sort of
into my feelings.
Yeah, okay. We're going into your feelings. That was a strange way of saying it, wasn't it? Just basically looking towards you as a Formula 1 driver next year now. Yeah. So I'm quite interested to know, how do you think you'll feel as the 5 lights come on at the Australian Grand Prix when you've qualified on pole position? I just added that pole position in, it felt right.
That'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be too shabby.
Maybe not pole position, but yeah, just in general.
To be honest, I think by that point, once you're on the grid already, I think I won't even realise I'm in an F1 car. I think it'll just be like any other race. And then as soon as you start driving it, it doesn't matter if you're in a Formula 4 or Formula 1, I think the feeling will still be the same. But I presume the feeling leading up to the weekend will be pretty surreal.
Stood on the grid as well, maybe if Martin comes along with his grid walk.
Yeah, I know. I did the grid walk with Martin in Austin, which was quite funky.
Okay, how was that?
That was right, actually. I don't want to return anytime soon, hopefully. I don't want to...
You want to be driving for a few more years.
Yeah, maybe 15 years or so.
What's the hardest thing to adapt to when getting into an F1 car? So for the first time you got into it, what was the one thing that hit you? A lot of people say the brakes, and it almost disorientates you.
No, absolutely the brakes, 100%. I remember... So I did a test in Portimao. It was my first proper test in an F1 car with Mercedes. And for my first run, my radio wasn't working, and I actually had the engine mode in the wrong engine, in the wrong setting, sorry. And the engine was extremely slow. And I was not that impressed, really. I was like, what's all the fuss about? And then I went out for the following run. They put the pit board out and told me to box because the radio wasn't working. They told me afterwards, and I kind of like, oh, bloody hell, this is quite fast, actually. But no, definitely when I went to Budapest in the 2017 car, I took the pit limiter off, went into turn 1 for my outlap, and I just touched the brake and everything. I kind of like threw myself forward, just wasn't expecting it whatsoever, and that was just, it's ridiculous. Like, compared to Formula 2 GB3, you're entering the corners like 30, 40k quicker, and you're braking 15 metres later. It just doesn't make sense. So it's the brakes are ridiculous.
How different is the F2 car to Formula 1?
Best way to describe it, well, basically a Formula 1 car is just so perfect in all aspects. So you imagine you're driving a really nice car on the motorway. You'll be doing, let's say, 70.
70? I was about to say if it was going to be anything over. 70?
Yeah, we're doing 70. But it feels like you're doing probably 40 because everything's just so smooth and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas in an F2 car, because it's not quite to the same level, it feels like driving, not a transit van, but it's like, it feels like you're driving...
George Russell says it. I can see the headlines now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Rewind.
Don't worry.
No, but you just imagine you're driving an older car, a 10-year-old, 15-year-old car, and you're doing 70 on the motorway. It feels like you're doing 100.
Yeah. So
just the whole feeling, the sensation is different. And when you jump into an F1 car, it seriously feels like a rocket ship because it's just like so smooth. And I probably also with the sound of the engine as well, it's just, and you can ride the curves, you can just do what you want, and it's just so elegant. Whereas,
until you hit the sausage curves.
Until you hit the stoppers or whatever they're called. So, whereas in junior formulas, it's just, I mean, I've made it sound quite bad here, but it's just not quite. Obviously, it's nowhere near.
It's not. It's just a realistic.
Yeah, it's just a real car. Whereas Formula 1 is.
It's the pinnacle of motorsport. So it's
too
not
good.
Surprising. It's too good.
Yeah, it's too smooth.
How did you find the G-forces? When you compare it as you go up the levels, I guess F2 to F1 is the biggest step you could possibly face.
Massively. I mean, it's something like 55 kilos or something being forced on your head. Like, imagine just laying down, you got 55 kilos on your head, kind of thing.
Ow.
Yeah, exactly. It's so difficult. Even for myself, before I drove an F1 car, I knew it was going to be tough, but it was kind of another level, and I got used to it. But that sensation I've never had anywhere else, and it's. And the thing is, well, because you have power steering, it's all on your neck, which is such a bizarre feeling.
Yeah.
It's like you're kind of locked in. You're obviously belted up. The seat's really tight. You just got all this force on your neck just from nowhere. So it's quite a strange feeling. I had so many weird looks in the gym when I've got my trainer with a harness, like literally pulling on me, and we've got these people looking and thinking he's torturing me or something, like punishment.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like such an idiot. I'm sure there's going to be a video of me one point ends up on Facebook or who's this idiot in the gym.
We'll share it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. It'll be you posting it. Yeah.
If you want to send it in, by all means.
Definitely not.
If there's one thing with current Formula One that you could change, what would it be?
Noise, sound. I think just that perception from within the car and outside of the speed is so much greater if you have a noisy engine. So I think that's probably one thing from my side I'd want.
Bring back the noise.
Bring back the noise.
Bring back the noise. Well, that's it. George, thank you so much for taking
Pleasure.
time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And George Russell, Williams
you.
F1 driver. Damn.
Where were we looking there?
Every single one.
I
was looking at there, and that. No, I just looked at that one.